Hey guys, what's up? It's Rocket54 here, and I'm sorry if the camera's positioned weirdly. I'm using a different phone to record at this time. Before I was using my mom's new phone, now I'm using her old phone. But I hope the quality's still good. I know the framing's a bit different, but anyway, I'm going to see the new Ghostbusters movie on Saturday. And so, I figured, since I'm seeing the new one, why not review the first two original movies? So, yeah, I'm going to be doing a review of the first one, which I just watched again last night. Now, the movie's directed by Ivan Reitman and stars Bill Murray as Venkman, Dan Aykroyd as Stantz, Harold Ramis as Spengler, Ernie Hudson as Zedmore, Annie Potts as Janine, and Sigourney Weaver as Dana. Now, the Ghostbusters, I was referring to them by their last names, if you didn't know. And essentially what the plot of it is, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Bill Murray are all, like, scientists at, like, this university or this college, or whatever it is. And, they, get downsized from the university's parapsychology department, and they're no longer giving them any money. And then they hear that there's like a report of a ghost in the library, and like 12 people have seen it, or whatever the number is. I think it was like 10 to 12. But and then like they decide that they want to make their own. Make their own ghost-busting business. So they called it the Ghostbusters, and their first customer is Sigourney Weaver, Dana. And because she sees something in her fridge, and like her eggs just start cooking all by themselves, and then Rick Moranis' character, Lewis, he starts like kind of experiencing weird things too. And then like they kind of get into like trouble with like the EPA. And then they acquire a new guy, played by Ernie Hudson, Winston Zedmore. And like then basically it's like the four of them, they start getting like ghost calls up the wazoo, and then but then like as with all great movies, all good things have some kind of conflict with them. But that's pretty much what the movie's about. And I actually didn't know this, but Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis actually wrote it. I didn't even know that. But also, can we just take a moment to notice this? The ghost on the cover, he kind of looks like a KKK member. Like, look at that. Like, the ghost on the front looks kind of like a KKK member. So, if anything, the Ghostbusters are doing at least twice as good as they did before. But anyway, what do I think of this movie? Now, I first saw this when I was like, I don't even know, probably like 4 or 5 years old, maybe. If anything, I saw it, like, if I was too young, probably saw it like when I was like 6 or 7 years old. But, it's, like, what do I think of it? It's an 80s classic. Like, I honestly don't know a single person that does not like this film. I think it got like a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, I don't know a single person that does not like this film. And because, guys, it is an instant classic, and one that will be remembered. And, if you see this when you're a kid, like when you're like younger, like a young kid, you're going to have really fond memories of it when you're older. I did see it when I was a kid, but I didn't really go, oh, yeah, I totally remember watching that when I was a kid. Because I remember watching it when I was younger, just not, like, vividly remember it. But, like, now the thing is, guys, one thing I have to point out, this movie is directed by Ivan Reitman, which, this film is what a lot of people remember Ivan Reitman for. What they don't know, what a lot of you probably don't know, is in 1973, Ivan Reitman directed this horror film called Cannibal Girls, which was on TV a couple years ago, so I taped it. It was absolute trash. Has like 5 minutes of cannibalism, and then the rest is just Eugene Levy making bad jokes. And honestly, the Cannibal Girls was trash. I wish I'd just listened to Jill Kill's review and just not watched it, but I was really curious. And honestly, the best part of that movie was Eugene Levy, because he had a friggin' afro back then. Of course, now I see him in American Pie, but anyway, guys, Ghostbusters is still an instant classic, and if I met somebody, like, on the street, and I was like, oh, have you seen Ghostbusters? And they said no, I'd probably hit them in the face. And say, here's $5, go buy the movie now. Like, guys, it's just an instant classic, and, you know, even 32 years later, it's kind of sad what happened to Harold Ramis, because he died 3 years ago. But also, if you didn't know, Harold Ramis actually directed Stripes and National Lampoon's Vacation before he did this. And but it's just kind of sad, though, that, like, there was supposed to be a Ghostbusters 3 in 2012, but Bill Murray said he really didn't want to do it, and apparently Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis tried many, many times to try and get him to do it, but he wouldn't budge. But then Harold Ramis died, so they couldn't do it anymore. But now like, the new one's coming out, and, like, in all honesty, people are like, oh my god, this trailer looks so awful. Yeah, well, you can't just judge a... Like, this movie's gonna be awful, the trailer sucks. You can't just judge a movie by its trailer. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, sure, they have a female cast, but it's a reboot, not a remake. And honestly, I like the director, like, of the new one. I like the director, and I like the cast. So, of course, I'm gonna see it. But as for the original Ghostbusters, guys, it's an instant classic. If you have not watched it, get out of this planet right now. You disgust me, honestly. But, honestly, even if you have seen this before, which probably 99% of you have, go watch it again. Guys, Ghostbusters instantly gets an A+.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Because it's a classic for young and old alike. Unfortunately, today's kids are probably going to remember the new one, which is pretty sad. That is honestly pretty sad. I bet that they're going to remember growing up remembering the new Point Break, too, which is even more sad. But anyway, guys, that is all for this review. I will have a review of Ghostbusters 2 up tomorrow. I'm going to watch it again tonight, because I watched this last night and then finished, like, the last 15 minutes this morning. But anyway, guys, that is all for this review. Subscribe for more content, and remember, you guys, whenever busting ghosts or KKK members, say no to drugs.